Zaphod, wake up. Hey, come on, wake up. Just let me stick to what I'm good at, yeah? Muttered Zaphod, and rolled away from the voice, back to sleep. Do you want me to kick you? Said Ford. Would it give you a lot of pleasure? Said Zaphod barely. Blearily. No, nor me. So what's the point? Stop bugging me. Zaphod curled himself up. He got a double dose of the gas, said Trillian, looking down at him. 2 windpipes. And stop talking, said Zaphod. It's hard enough trying to sleep anyway. What's the matter with the ground? It's all cold and hard. It's gold, said Ford. With an amazing balletic movement, balletic, oh, like ballet movement, Zaphod was standing and scanning the horizon, because that's how far the gold ground stretched in every direction, perfectly smooth and solid. It gleamed like It's impossible to say what it gleamed like, because nothing in the universe gleams in quite the way that a planet made of solid gold does. Who put all that there? Yelped Zaphod, goggle eyed. Don't get excited, said Ford. It's only a catalog. A who? A catalog, said Trillian. An illusion. How can you say that? Cried Zaphod, falling to his hands and knees and staring at the ground. He poked it and prodded it. It was very heavy and very slightly soft. He could mark it with his fingernail. It was very yellow and very shiny, and when he breathed on it, his breath evaporated off of it in that very peculiar and special way that breath evaporates off solid gold. Trillian and I came round a while ago, said Ford. We shouted and yelled till somebody came, and then carried on shouting and yelling till they all got fed up and put us in their planet catalog to keep us busy till they were ready to deal with us. This is all sensotape. Zaphod stared at him bitterly. Ah, shit, he said. You wake me up from my own perfectly good dream to show me somebody else's? He sat down in a huff. What's that series of valleys over there? He said. Hallmark, said Ford. We had a look. We didn't wake you either, said Trillian. The last planet was knee deep in fish. Fish? Some people like the oddest things. And before that, said Ford, we had platinum. Bit dull. We thought you'd like to see this one, though. Seas of light glared at them in one solid blaze, wherever they looked. Very pretty, said Zaphod petulantly. In the sky a huge green catalog number appeared. It flickered and changed, and when they looked around again, so had the land. As with one voice they all went, yuck. The sea was purple. The beach they were on was composed of tiny yellow and green pebbles, presumably terribly precious stones. The mountains in the distance seemed soft and undulating with red peaks. Nearby stood a solid silver beach table with a frilly mauve parasol and silver tassels. In the sky, a huge sign appeared, replacing the catalog number. It said, Whatever your tastes, Margraphia can cater for you. We are not proud. And 500 entirely naked women dropped out of the sky on parachutes. In a moment, the scene vanished and left them in a springtime meadow full of cows. Ow, said Zaphod, my brains. You want to talk about it? Said Ford. Yeah, okay, said Zaphod. And all three sat down and ignored the scenes that came and went around them. I figure this, said Zaphod. Whatever happened to my mind, I did it. And I did it in such a way that it wouldn't be detected by the government screening test. And I wasn't to know anything about it myself. Pretty crazy, right? The other two nodded in agreement. So I reckon, what's so secret that I can't let anybody know I know it? Not the galactic government, not even myself. The answer is I don't know, obviously, but I put a few things together and I can begin to guess. When I did, when did I decide to run for president? Shortly after the death of President Udenfranks. You remember Udenford? Yeah, said Ford. He was that guy we met when we were kids, the Acturian captain. He was a gas. He gave us conkers when you busted your way into his mega freighter. Said you were the most amazing kid he'd ever met. What's all this? Said Trillian. Ancient history, said Ford. When we were kids together in Beetlejuice, the Acturian mega freighters used to carry most of the bulky trade between the galactic center and the outlying regions. The Beetlejuice trading scouts used to find the markets and the Acturians would supply them. There was a lot of trouble with space pirates before they were wiped out by the Dordelis Wars, and the mega freighters had to be equipped with the most fantastic deference shields known to galactic science. They were real brutes of ships, and huge. In orbit around a planet, they would eclipse the sun. One day, young Zaphod here decides to raid one, on the tri-jet scooter designed for stratosphere work. A mere kid. I mean, forget it. It was crazier than a mad donkey. I went along for the ride because I got some very safe money on him not doing it, and didn't want him coming back with fake evidence. So what happens? We get in this tri-jet, which he had souped up into something totally other, crossed 3 parsecs in a matter of weeks, burst our way into the mega freighter. I still don't know how. Marched onto the bridge waving toy pistols and demanded conkers. A wilder thing I have not known. Lost me a year's pocket money. For what? Conkers. The captain was this really amazing guy. You and Frank, said Zaphod. He gave us food, booze, stuff from really weird parts of the galaxy, lots of conkers, of course, and we just had the most incredible time. Then he teleported us back into the maximum security wing of the Beetlejuice State Prison. He was a cool guy. Went on to become president of the galaxy. Zaphod paused. The scene around them was currently plunged into gloom. Dark mist swirled around them, and elephantine shapes lurked indistinctly in the shadows. The air was occasionally rent with sounds of illusory beings murdering other illusory beings. Presumably, enough people must have liked this sort of thing to make it a paying proposition. Ford, said Zaphod quietly. Yeah? Just before Yuden died, he came to see me. What? You never told me. No. What did he say? What did he come to see you about? He told me about the heart of gold. It was his idea that I should steal it. His idea? Yes, said Zaphod, and the only possible way of stealing it was to be at the launching ceremony. Ford gaped at him in astonishment for a moment, and then roared with laughter. Are you telling me, he said, that you set yourself up to become president of the galaxy just to steal that ship? That's it, said Zaphod with a sort of grin that would get most people locked away in a room with soft walls. But why, said Ford. What's so important about having it? Dunno, said Zaphod. I think if I'd consciously known what was so important about it and what I would need it for, it would have shown up on the brain screening test, and I would have never passed. I think Yuden told me a lot of things that are still locked away. So you think you went and mucked about inside your own brain as a result of Yuden talking to you? He was a hell of a talker. Yeah, but Zaphod, old mate, you want to look after yourself, you know. Zaphod shrugged. I mean, don't you have any inkling of the reasons for all this? Asked Ford. Zaphod thought hard about this, and doubt seemed to cross his mind. No, he said at last. I don't seem to be letting myself into any of my secrets. Still, he added on further reflection, I can understand that. I wouldn't trust myself further than I could spit a rat. A moment later, the last planet in the catalog vanished from beneath them, and the solid world resolved itself again. They were sitting in a plush reading room, full of glass-topped tables and design awards. A tall Margrathian man was standing in front of them. The mice will see you now, he said.